Hey guys!
Hey there, I'm Mindy, this is Joe.
So a while back we filmed a video with our friend Seb. His YouTube channel is actually going to be linked in the description. And it was about his gear belt that he has. So Seb is an interesting dude. He is from England and he is literally running around the world. Like, I'm not kidding, with feet. Okay? And we hosted him on couch surfing. And that's how we got to know Seb. And we've been friends ever since. But we had some questions for him.
Since we're gear junkies, we had to ask what's in the bag.
What's in the damn bag?
Often my tripod is like a rock or a trash can or something. Yeah. And then I've started getting, like, showing you the droopy ball and socket thing where it'll just go. Oh, no. Most often after I've run halfway down the beach. Yeah, and turned around to realise it's not there.
He was making a shake this morning. And they're just.
Yeah. It was like putting more and more bananas in and it was just going. Okay, so I'll go this way. That makes sense. Or actually, it doesn't matter. So I could, if I wanted to, have a whole nother stuff sack here too.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd be very difficult to close, and the bigger your bag, the more you'll fill it. And I like the idea of quick access things. So this is quick access stuff, like a little Gerber knife, which I very rarely use, but of course you need it. It's going to be handy. This is funny. It's quite heavy. But it's the stuff I do my hair with. And I'm like, I need a good supply of that. Smelly stuff in case I want to smell good. Which I rarely do. It's like hardly full. I just rarely have a little spray if I feel like it's necessary. This is vape, which we're going to do a review of soon. And some CBD oil. And some iodine.
Nice.
Which you need in your, in your nutrition, but also it's handy if I cut myself or
cut yourself. Yeah. Sanitize some water.
Yeah.
All sorts of things.
Yeah, I forget about the water thing.
Yeah.
It can be used for that. Waterproof bags for if it's raining. Quick, put the phone in the bag.
Nice.
The people are in a bag.
Actually,
so all of those
we have the same brand of those, just larger. We use them
Yeah.
for our. We pack our food in them because they're scent block. No. Very handy.
Yeah, I've got, what is that? Spare lighter. Oh, a spare grabby thing. I'm always breaking these. Especially if it falls.
Yeah.
And it just snaps.
I lost my last phone. I launched it up the tripod because the grabby thing just gave out. And I joke and say I launched it into the stratosphere, but it actually went flat onto the concrete and dimpled the screen. It hit so hard.
What, the phone?
Yeah.
That's how it cost me almost $400 recently because the phone face planted on a curb.
Yeah.
But hopefully that won't happen again. Or at least I've got two now.
We have spares.
Again. Yeah.
Spare parts.
Carry spares.
And a quality phone case. Mine was not in one because I'm dumb.
Oh, it wasn't even in case?
No.
Wow. Yeah, I've got some better cases now. Spare little baggies that I put money in that go in my wallet because my money was always wet, and I'd be paying at places, and they'd be like, "Thank you, sir."
Slop.
Yeah. So that's that. I suppose we'll do the other zippy side. That makes sense. Quick access to toothbrush kind of stuff. More hair, and then my toothbrush. So it's kind of contained. In the very beginning, it used to just like stick out like that, which I thought isn't.
Exactly.
Great idea. Yeah, so I thought at least it's sealed. And
that's a nice case, little case.
Yeah, it's meant to be for soap, And
yeah.
the actual toothpaste I squeezed out of the long tube. So then I can also pull that out and put it in my pocket when I'm at like a restaurant and just wander off to the bathroom, and it doesn't look obvious like I'm carrying a razor and like my toothbrush. Yeah. A lock, which is cool. I like having that for like the gym or hostels, or it's always useful. This is some witch's brew stuff that helps with bug bites. We talk about mosquitoes.
Oh, nice.
Helps to stop them itching. So, Another toothbrush, but I don't use it for brushing my teeth. I use it for my nails.
Oh.
Sometimes my nails are so scummy. I really want to get under there. Razor thing, which I take off so it doesn't mash up the blades. So then when I want to use it, I just do that.
There you go.
You know, keeps them all from getting, broken up. It's all going to be haphazard. Soap, which is a good antifungal one. It's called Defense or something. It's not just any old soap. Speaker. In here,
Do you
again,
jam with that speaker?
yeah, I play it out loud, and people can hear me coming, and they're especially on the sidewalk, they're like, and often it's very inappropriate lyrics. And it's exactly like that. And I've even had people when I'm in the woods or somewhere really quiet, and because you think, oh, I won't see these people again, but later you see them on the trail, what were you shouting earlier? I was singing along. Yeah, I don't really care. I just think it's fun. I feel like I should make more videos of me trying to rap to the music, because it's something fun for me to do. It keeps me entertained, and while running and trying to keep up with something like Eminem things or something, it's difficult. It's a challenge, so it's fun. And then I've got the headphones. Sometimes the guys that see me wear the headphones or this. It really depends on what's the background noise. Like if I'm on a busy road, I'll use the headphones because this isn't quite loud enough. But I prefer this because it's more fun. It's out loud, but then the battery dies after a while. So
I feel like it seems like a movie. You got that awesome background music, and you just run into it. Whereas you got it in your ears, it's okay, that's fun. And it's just one push of a button. It feels cool. Once it's switched on, the Bluetooth is kind of always there, and I can just maybe I've stopped at a shop and I've bought something, and I'm just walking while I eat it, and then I think, oh, it's still on, and I just push the button and boom, we're back. There was one time in the very beginning when I was training, and it was pouring down rain, and I put my hood up, and because the speaker's waterproof, and I'd walked past a sign which was "Welcome to Cornwall," which is a county in the south of England, which is the kind of place where you drive and go on holiday, kind of like Florida to American people. It's not somewhere you would have run there. So in the middle of the night, there's lightning and rain, and I'm walking past a sign, "Welcome to Cornwall," and I'm like, this is great. I just push the button and music, and I'm dry. And yeah, that was kind of an epic moment that could have been not enjoyable, but the music made it awesome.
Yeah.
So again, quick access things, bug spray.
I feel like you can't have enough of that.
Yeah, I've managed to get one that doesn't have DEET. Plant-based. So it seems to work. Superfood powders, I found that when my superfoods were buried in one of these, which is food compartment, I never got it out. I had all these special superfoods, but it's so many steps for me to get there, open all that, pour a tiny bit out, neck it, that I just wasn't doing it. So I divided it up into its own little daily dose. So
nice.
That's a used one. It's empty, and that's one that, and they've mixed. There's you see all the different colours. Ginger, turmeric. Trying to think what's the white one. Can't remember. There's all so many different things. Tribulus, Tribulus, right? So that's quick access.
That's a good idea.
Nice.
It's way better than just having a big bottle of pills floating around. They're all different things. I like that.
And you got to really dig to get them out. And then once a week, I restock my, small pouches. This is DHEA, EPA, omega-3s. It's algae juice. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
It's where the fish get their omega stuff from.
Oh,
right.
So it's a plant-based thing. So I just put
Where'd you get that?
just Google it.
Oh.
Vegan, EPA, DHEA. That sounds like the drug authorities.
Yeah.
DEA. Something like that. I don't even know exactly what it's called, but it's vegan omega oil, algae oil. This is probably the coolest, smallest little multi-tool ever.
Nice.
Most multi-tools have pliers. I don't need pliers. So I got some that have scissors.
Oh yeah, scissors.
Yeah.
Tiniest scissors, and then it's still got your saw blade knife and a normal knife on the other side, and probably some screwdrivers and funny things. These are just the kind of things that if I fly, I basically pull this out, the knife that we saw earlier, and where's the keyring thing? Yeah. That disguises itself as a key, and they often don't notice, the security people, but it's the quickest. Often I just grab it quickly when I just need to cut something small, or do my ginger. That's what I use for the ginger.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
So that's the kind of thing they'll take off me at the airport. So if I was flying, I would take all that out, put it in a bag, and literally stash it under a rock somewhere outside the airport until I return to the airport and
That's the way to do it.
lift it up from under the rock.
There
It
you
seems to
go.
work every time. You need to find somewhere quiet, you know, where someone doesn't see you doing that.
Yeah.
But who's going to look under that rock,
Right.
beside that
Yeah,
tree?
you squirrel your stash away.
Yeah.
Come back later.
Squirrel your knives away.
Gotta hide my nuts.
Yeah.
No, that's a good solution though, because then you don't have to, throw them away at security and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
Nail clipper, which seems to just slowly get rusty. I haven't figured out what to do. I guess buy a new one, or maybe it needs bagging up. You know, it's not great to have a rusty nail clipper.
Right.
And a foot scrubby thing, which one of my very first couch surfing hosts helped me because the handle used to be like this long. So he literally filed it,
nice.
cut it
Nice.
off and filed it and everything. Just, although actually something I've learned over time with my feet, because I thought, I need to maintain, do like my heels and all that. I think maybe it's better that I just grow like dog feet, paws, hooves. Like my body's building all that up. Anytime I've like cut it off with scissors or trimmed, like I seem to cause myself more trouble.
Yeah.
Like maybe my body's got the right idea. Like why do we feel like we need to, trim all that off? I don't know. Just to have pretty
Any
feet.
preference, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
kinda
so your
do
feet need to be tough, not pretty. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Right, so I guess we'll go this way. I feel excited because this is my favourite one.
I'm excited. This is such a
Or
fun
maybe
like setup.
Yeah, you can move.
Over.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
This thing's cool though.
Yeah. I hope I can find another
Happy
one.
we're getting like first look too.
Yeah.
Yeah, in person, super fun.
Cool.
This is almost in dollars, I suppose it might even be $200 jacket. But it's like the tiniest jacket in the world that goes inside its own pocket. And I managed to get it way cheaper than it was meant to be. I think I got it for like 80
Nice.
because it's small. So like the size is like, and it zips right up on the neck. It's one of those neck ones. But then even though it's small, it just fits perfectly. So I'm super warm. So it's more like an underlayer
Yeah.
for when it's really cold. Or just a quick thing to grab when I don't need my full like hooded big jacket, which we'll get to. I just love that little pocket. It's just little things like that make it, awesome. Oh, it's snagged the zip. But yeah, you can fit a phone in there. Yeah, it's quite big. Just to have that little side thing is real handy when you like slip something in.
Is that the one you did the review on in the shower?
No, because
Say
that's
that
not
was
the.
hooded one, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the waterproof, which I don't have anything. I don't have anymore a waterproof jacket.
Oh no.
All I've got is warm stuff. But I figure I'll just get rained on and air dry. Like normally, if I'm running along, I don't need to be dry. Or if you wear a rain jacket, you just get sweaty underneath.
Right.
Better to just be wet, get rained on, and then when you get to the place, take your thing out and be dry and warm.
Yeah,
put
you're
it
not
on.
necessarily dry to begin with
Yeah.
when you're running.
No.
So.
No,
True.
Any layer, I just end up sweating and making it all horrible with sweat. This is just essentially a bag, but it's actually also a pump for the Neo Air.
Oh.
You put the little nozzle there.
Yep. I've seen
Get
that.
a load of air like that, and then squish it out to save you having a huff and puff. I don't have an air mattress anymore, but I figure it's a cool thing, and it scrunches down so small that if I need it, I've got like a little bag to carry things, or my laundry, or
Sure.
I could probably even get the whole belt in there if I needed to. I just think it's useful.
Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah,
seems
because
very handy.
You have the hammock now, so you don't have a.
Yeah, I don't have an air mat anymore. And some people will put the air mat into a hammock, but it's really awkward. It slips and slides around.
What do you use for a thermal barrier then? Do you just Close.
Underquilt.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have attached to the hammock it's kind of like a sleeping bag that dangles under you.
Nice.
And because you're not laying on it, because if you lay on like clothes, like you're saying,
Right.
a sleeping bag, you just crush it,
Yep,
and it doesn't really insulate.
loses its thermal.
Yeah, so it just dangles underneath. And I reckon I could go pretty close to freezing with that, you know, in terms of temperature. I think we're just going to have a big pile of stuff. I think it'll be fun.
Making a big pop.
More clothes. I got red shorts. Oh yeah, this is quite interesting actually. All my shorts are the same. Like, there's black versions. I would go into the shop and take off the shelf in the sports store all of the shorts, and that I know, like, the assistant, you know, shop person watching me, because I'm going like this, and I'm rolling them all up, and I'm going to try and figure out, like, how small will it get, and that is a pretty small pair of shorts. Like,
Yeah.
if you take your shorts and roll them up, they'll never be that small.
Yeah, those are good ones.
And if they roll up and they're like that, you know, that's the difference of,
Yeah.
I could have 3 pairs
Right.
for the size of 1. So once I discovered these North Face ones that are flash dry, super quick drying, then I modified them and added my own zippers, Whoop. Which is an idea I got from a pair of Nike shorts, and there's 2 liters on each leg of space.
Nice.
And I've just sewn inside a kind of netting, which I need to fix.
Oh no. You're gonna lose your things.
Yeah. The only other shirts I've got, and the one I'm wearing, is a white one with sleeves, and a grey one which is not going to last long. It's more temporary, that I climb out of. You know, when I'm running, I literally don't climb out. More of a belt protector, but I need to get a new, like, proper vest. Not that interesting. This is one of my favourite items. Woo! Dun, dun, dun. It says hammock, but it's not a hammock. It's just the case for a dun, 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 dun. I don't even need to keep it in there probably, but I just feel like it might protect it. My blender! I need to wash it out. That's a good reminder. It's kind of damp in there, but
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
powers up, you know, USB, whatever, and it hasn't run out yet. In fact, it reminds me I need to charge it and wash it. Yeah, it's just
How
fun.
smooth does that make the smoothies? Is it pretty
I've
good?
I've done beetroot, and it was a little bit lumpy, but it's fine. I'm sure if you just did like bananas and oats, or you know, berries and bananas, it would be completely smooth.
Nice.
For a pocket blender, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that for the band instead of getting
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
I just searched for USB blender or
Okay.
portable travel blender.
See, I never would even thought like that's a thing.
Yeah.
No, I
USB
never-
blender, like what?
I think like probably 50% of my intake is often smoothies. So then I was trying to think, well, wait, if I go on the road, what will I do? How will I live? And that's where I said, you know, that video we watched where I said, I've got a blender in my face. So I just, you know, assigned myself to that. So after,
So is that everything in that?
yeah, that's empty now.
Nice.
Right, so we'll slowly go empty, empty, empty. Next one is sleeping bag. Normally I can figure out what's what, and I've kind of learned it now, but by squeezing it, like, I know that's the sleeping bag because over there is something hard that's to do with cooking or whatever. So this is purely my bed, essentially. The pillow.
Those are nice.
Yeah,
That's
love
not me,
those.
right?
Yeah, what's that?
No, we have the
I popped one, I had a different one.
C.
Yeah, we did the Sea
Sea
to
to
Summit.
Summit
It's the
one.
same size,
Yeah,
same thing,
same.
nice
Yeah.
soft.
I had a seat to summit and I popped it. Something I learned was just let it air dry and hang it up. I tried to wring it out.
Oh, yeah.
It was a foolish move. And then, of course, it leaked into the air. I damaged it. This sleeping bag is called On Raid something. It's almost worn out now, the logo. But it doesn't, I've bust the zip already. But there's supposedly, you know, they say it goes down to freezing. I'm sure what they mean is you won't die if it's freezing. But you won't sleep comfortably. Like, I think,
You won't be happy.
yeah, it's not that warm. I mean, if I wanted to go down to freezing, I would have to wear like all my clothes and get in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's even what we do camping anyways. If it's cold out, we just keep our clothes on.
Yeah.
That's pretty lightweight sleeping bag.
Yeah, that is
How many
really
grams
lightweight.
is that?
Good question. I know how much everything weighs. I think it's 400 grams.
Yeah.
And
That's nice.
Yeah,
it will
super light.
scrunch down inside this, which shows you how small it really goes.
My sleeping bag is big and heavy. I'm actually in the market for a new one, so that's kind of
Yeah. Well, there's an Omraid 1.0, and then there's this one, which is 1.6. And the difference is the 1.6 is a lot warmer. But the weight difference is something like 50 grams. You know, it's hardly anything different.
Right.
So yeah, it will scratch down to something like that,
Nice.
and then it will even compress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's my bed. Now this I hadn't really told you about. It's called an earthing sheet, and it literally earths into the power outlet or into the ground with a wire. These little lines are silver fiber that are super conductive. So when I'm laying in it, when you've got direct skin contact, your body thinks it's laying on the ground. So you relax and you recover a lot quicker. It helps with your recovery and your electron balance, and you've got like a voltage. Every human being has like a very small difference. The difference between wearing shoes and being barefoot. So especially when I'm in a hammock, I feel like it gives me a much better quality of sleep.
That's
like,
cool.
my body's not sort of like concerned about where are we hanging.
Hovering in the air.
Yeah, and if I'm injured, like you can heal injuries quicker. I've seen people with like even grazes or you've hurt your knee or whatever. I could wrap it around me, earth myself, and
That's cool.
I'll be recovered from the injury like a lot quicker. So
It's neat.
I put it on the bed in there, and the wire that attaches, I guess we get to it next, is already looped into the hammock, which is the next one. So sleeping bag and hammock are next door to each other, which I figure makes sense. I won't pull the whole hammock out, but I'll get at least. We're still rolling?
Yeah, just make sure it's still rolling.
Yeah, no, good idea. Yeah, so that's the earthing wire that's dangling.
Oh, nice.
That literally goes in the earth hole.
Oh.
You know? So it's not electric, it's the opposite of electric, it's the earth.
Yeah. It's neat.
And this way I figured out that I could be like in your bedroom, attach that without having to unpack the whole hammock and put that in the wall.
It's pretty neat.
Right? So all
I
I
like
gotta
that.
do is pull the hammock out. Now Gary in the audience in the comments department said, hey, your hammock straps, what if you accidentally leave them behind or they break? Now I don't have a backup if they break, but I can't really leave them behind hanging on the tree, because what I've done is made a system where every time I pack the hammock, I pack it this way, and I'm going to notice this is empty.
Yeah.
And I got to stuff it in. So my straps, this is my reminder, is to have the straps bag on the outside. It also means if I'm in a really, almost anywhere, I was going to say in a really dirty area, but pretty much anywhere you don't want to put the belt on the ground.
Right.
So I can fish into the belt, get my straps out, because they're right there on the top, put them on the tree, hang the hammock, and then hang the belt in the hammock, so don't have to put anything down.
Nice.
Spare shoes. Nice, that was like in unison.
Yeah.
We tend to do that a lot.
These shoes are 100 grams and just slide in on the outside. Just an option, like sometimes when I've been running all day and my feet hurt, I'll swap shoes just to air my stinky ones out, and also to like walk around the buffet or whatever. It feels nice. These are like slippers, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of get out of the work shoes and get into the comfy shoes.
Yeah, and just something I recently added was this little pouch that's easy access. Because it's stored on the outside, it means I can get in and pull out a tent peg, which is useful for the hammock. Some of the side of the hammock gets staked out, so instead of the hammock like falling in on your face, you can like pin it out.
Nice.
But sometimes there isn't a tree or anything to pin it to, so you use the little stakes.
I like it.
And then I haven't really used it yet, but this is my alternative to carrying an axe, which
That's like a mini silky saw.
yeah,
That's awesome.
And
so
it's
little.
super small, super lightweight, and a lot less dangerous than an axe. If I drop that, it's just going to bounce. Not going to like chop my leg open or chop a toe off.
Yeah.
You and I both have a rough history with axes.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Lopped off part of my thumb with a baby hatchet.
Oh,
right here.
That's
a fat scar right there because I chunked it all the way down past the nail.
That was on the Ice Age Trail.
Yeah.
I showed you in Wisconsin.
Right, just up north.
Yeah, Joe lobbed off a chunk
Not
of
to
his
be
stone.
taken lightly.
And if you did a race, like we both had the same size of log, and you're cutting with the saw versus an axe, it's actually just as quick, sometimes quicker with the saw.
Yeah.
And just a lot less
Yeah,
dangerous.
you just got to pick things that are smaller diameter that will burn longer.
Mm.
So, wood selection, obviously.
And I haven't really done any sort of out in the woods kind of, I haven't had a fire, I haven't done any of that yet, so it hasn't been necessary, it's been so hot.
That's true. Once you get up north, though, you're running more trails up there. That's it's gonna be nice.
For a while, I wasn't even bothering to carry it. I just recently added it into the outside.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. So then, like I said, we got to this little marker here, this little British Union Jack.
Hey, you gotta represent.
Yeah. Which is my reminder that this is essentially the heaviest and most important, because it's the electrical department. So, and it's on my back. It's on the very back. Whereas it tends to get lighter as we move around.
Smart. I was going to ask you if you do load shifting at all, but you do, so smart.
Very quick access to my cup, folding mug thing. What's it called? First aid with duct tape on the outside.
Smart.
There you go.
That's a military thing, right? So you
Yeah.
put duct tape on the outside.
Oh, yeah. And what's so useful? Cover wounds,
And we
start
won't go
fires,
all deep
all
into
sorts of
there,
stuff.
but there's emergency water things which I've never used, but
They're good.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
We always have them as well. We don't plan on using them, but drop the filter, brakes, I don't know, whatever, and you have to you find a random because you pretty much find junk plastic everywhere, sadly. So you fill that up, throw that in there, wait a couple hours, good to go. So it's good to have.
Yeah, and you know, what's it called? First aid stuff.
Yeah,
plasters and whatever. Even some gloves.
Yeah, I feel like that could be its own little video if you break down exactly what and why you use.
Yeah.
Good idea, right? It came with it. And I thought, okay, I guess that's
No,
it.
it is good to have.
It's good to have a signaling device.
If there's like a real emergency, I can whistle. Or if there's a rave.
Again, multifunctional.
So that's that. Oh, this is quite cool. It's a big wash bowl thing. You know, like you need to scoop up a whole bunch of water. Or quite often I soak my feet in apple cider vinegar because it helps to harden up and avoid what's it called, athlete's foot, stuff like that.
Right.
So I haven't got anything that's like a bowl. You know, just put it there because it's stinky. Because I just have my feet in apple cider vinegar. This is an awesome 4-way thingy bob. I love that one. That changes everything. I guess we'll keep it in the middle there. Like I said, I've got a laptop and my Fiji postcards in that same bag that you said you've probably got.
Yeah, we love those bags.
When he first told me you had a laptop, I laughed. I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a laptop. I totally laughed. I was like, he's totally joking.
No, I really got a laptop. It's just useful. Sometimes people are like, why can't you just do everything on your phone? I pretty much can, but there are times where the desktop view is just so useful. And there's certain times where I need to do a right click, and I can't on the phone.
Right.
So there's certain tasks that I got to do, and that's where this comes in handy. It's a mouse that's again like super lightweight and small, little mouse with a USB jobber.
Oh,
Quite
that's
clever that magnet's
that's
there.
really handy. I like that mouse a lot.
And then I can
really
scroll.
like that.
You know, so even though the laptop's so small, I'm scrolling like that, moving around.
It's awesome.
Um,
I'm gonna get one of those.
Yeah, that's a sweet mouse.
I'm gonna get one of those.
I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure we can find it. Microsoft or something. And then while I've got this carry case, which I had to pay separately for the case, I figure that's where I can put spare things, like the little spare thing for the pen for the phone, because I'm constantly losing those. I've been through a few of those. Things to do with the vape, little pipe cleaners and mouth things. There's a tick thing that I never used, but do you have any experience with
We
them?
do have those, and they work really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm always like
We pull
worry
ticks
about
off of ourselves and off the dogs with them.
Right.
Yeah, you just press it and then just gently pull, and it just scoops them right out.
Yeah.
It's a little safer than getting something hot and then poking it and letting it crawl out. It's a little easier than that.
It just freaks me out to have anything crawling under my skin.
Yeah.
You don't want to get Lyme disease, so get rid of the tick.
Yeah. Is it almost like? Is it a matter of time? If, like, say the tick has Lyme disease and you get it out quickly, can you protect yourself, or is it like, oh, it's too late, you've already been
Yeah, I
killed?
think it's a dwell time that they sit in there for a while, and then you'll start getting symptoms. But if you remove it, like if you notice it and you like wake up and remove it, I haven't heard of anybody getting Lyme disease from that. But I do know people that got Lyme disease from the infected deer ticks because they ended up getting like a giant swollen thing going on, and at that point it's fully infected, and then they're kind of
I'm not actually sure the answer to
I don't think if you get it out right away, I don't think it's an instant bite.
Yeah.
Unlike some of the spiders, like a brown recluse, it bites your face. That's a bad day.
Yeah.
It like rots your flesh. It's not fun. Not to scare you about
No,
spiders.
I hate creepy crawlies. Like on my first night, the next morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, where can I poop? And I saw like a hedge, and I thought I'll go in the hedge. And I saw like a gap, and I was just about to go in, and I realised like, oh, there's a spider web, and I'm like, oh, there's a big spider web. I don't know what type it was, but I almost just walked right into the web. Power bank, which gives me 10 charges on my phone, and I recommend. A lot of people say, oh, why don't you have solar panels? And you could hang it on your belt. It's just too cumbersome. This is so quick to charge. You just leave it while I'm at the buffet or at your house or whatever, and it's full and it's solid and reliable, and I'm not having to kind of like hope it's sunny or.
Yeah. Well, it kind of fits too, because it's not like you're roughing it the whole time. You're not just like running through Patagonia. This is all civilized right now, and you're kind of hopping town to town through trails. So.
And I can hop 10 charges worth. And
yeah, I mean that's. Realistically, I mean, if you're recording with your phone, what do you got to charge it like once or twice a day? So, I mean, the reality is you can practically be gone for a week on one charge on that thing. That's really good.
And that's a super slim one. I don't know the name of it, but someone tried to sell me one in Best Buy, and it was so thick.
Yeah.
But I clocked how many milliamps or whatever it's called, mAh.
Yeah.
It was like a lot. So I clocked the number, which I think was 26,000 or something, quite a lot. Then I went and eBayed or Amazoned the same number, but added ultralight slim, and found the same power, but a much thinner one.
Nice.
Lighter one. And also, all of these things that go in this electrical department are the same kind of shape, so it's easy to just stack everything.
Nice. That's a good idea.
This is
there's your...
hard drives, backups. I also put everything on the Google Drive, all the videos, and store them on the floor. Put them down on the floor, then they can't fall, right? That's my biggest fear, is hard drives falling.
I like that tip though.
Yeah.
Store them on the floor.
Can't afford this already.
Real world advice.
This is a total dissolved solids meter, which tells you how clean your water is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And anywhere above, 50 really, you shouldn't be drinkable. We'll do your house tap water. I would guess, because I've done so many waters, because it interests me, that it's probably more than 100 here. I don't know, but in most places it is. Like in London, in the city, it'll be like 300 something, which is really not worth drinking. And the things that people love, like Evian and Fiji water and all that, super high. So there's all kinds of dirt in there.
Yeah.
They say it's minerals, but it's dirt that's been running over the dirty ground. So that's good to know. It doesn't really
I'm
change.
actually curious to see our water, because
Yeah.
it is
We could do it now, just get
extraordinarily
some,
hard.
we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do a quick test.
Yeah. Because distilled water or reverse osmosis water, the goal is the lowest number possible.
Okay.
And it will always come out as 0 or 1.
Get it out of the fridge.
Do both. Do
One
the
out of the
fridge
fridge.
and do 2. Because then we can compare. Do 1 from the tap, 1 from the fridge. Because the thing with filters is the word filter means it lets some things through.
Right.
But it leaves other things. So it's...
So we got tap water.
This is tap.
Yeah.
Because we have a regular house filter that is allegedly for like degrees, and then we have the extra filter in the fridge.
I'll wait for you to get back. The battery cap kept coming off, so I've taped it on.
Stuck it on.
is still on. How many minutes?
We're still on, and it looks like we're at 34:30.
I might stop it and start it again.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
When it gets to 40 minutes, it does sort of restart by itself. So there's a little glitchy, like,
Yeah.
which is annoying if you're halfway through saying something.
I see.
Okie dokie. So, see the 0 parts per million. So we don't know what the parts are, but we just know there's something in there. So I can't remember which one this is.
I think that one was the tab.
The house tab. What was it? 100?
Oh, now it's at
200 something?
230.
Right.
240.
So really, I would say somewhere below 50 would be like, when I say safe to drink, I mean it's safe, you won't get sick, but in terms of detox and cleansing, the more empty the water is because of like osmosis, it will drag toxins with it, and you could be like detoxing. But if the water's already heavy with parts of who knows what, it's not pulling out, it's probably depositing. And then the filtered, what is that?
It's
The same?
slightly less.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 200.
Yeah,
It's
that's
going
what
back
I
from-
expected. The filters don't really do much because I've tried.
This one was like 240.
I've tried taking water, putting it through a filter, testing it before, putting it through the filter and testing it after, and it didn't really seem to make much difference. So the best option is just buy a distiller, because the option above the distiller, which is $100 or $200, is reverse osmosis, which you have to have plumbed in and it's
Oh
thousands.
yeah, I've seen those before. They have like the big cylinders, right? And it
Yeah.
does some crazy stuff.
It's much more affordable to just refill this big kettle drum 4-litre thing. It bubbles away, and what it's doing is steaming, and then the toxins and the junk and the who knows what's in the water can't pass through the steam, and you're literally drinking clean cloud water. It tastes amazing. Or in the beginning, you should just buy it at Walmart. You can buy it anywhere, Publix. You can buy distilled water. I try to say that's the only water I drink. It would be if I was at home with my distiller.
Oh yeah.
Now I've had to settle for like whatever water fountain I can find. Who knows what.
True that.
More the final sort of parts of electrical stuff. This is actually what they gave me on the plane with eye mask and earplugs. When you get your little packet, and I kept it ever since. I was like, it's quite handy. It zips up, and it contains things like my passport, which is waterproofed. I like to have bags within bags within bags, especially important things. Cables. More cables and USB sort of computery things, memory card readers, again in one of those same waterproofy bags. Golden Corral, $600 with the receipts, just in case, thanks to the boys. And finally, spare toothbrush. Yeah, they're awesome.
Smart.
Spare toothbrush, that's how it originally was, and I literally cut it with my saw so it would fit in the little compartment that you saw.
Perfect.
And then it's not really electrical, but it's that shape, so it goes in with the other stuff. This is a really cool cooking gadget called a firebox, which is essentially a glorified stand. That's some of the fuel tablet thing to help me get the fire going. But yeah, it's essentially something for you to put your pot on. That paper's just there in case it could be useful for kindling. It also stops it rattling because it's really annoying if you're running and it's the whole way, like, drive me insane. That's one of them.
Yeah,
That I've never started a fire with in my life.
Really?
No?
I'm just hopeless at it.
Oh, I love to do it that way, and then
We
sometimes
should
even
try
go like and try to rub stick.
Really?
It's such a pain in the ass.
I've tried and I'm just hopeless. I'm just like, I've got 3 lighters here.
Yeah, well, a Bic is your best friend because you get like 10,000 strikes, and the reality is they're $1. Whereas like this takes a lot of effort. So,
and I'd heard that if you have a sharpener, you can shove a stick in it and just drip.
Yeah, so thin shavings like that are what this is going to light.
Right.
So if you try to go on just regular wood without it being all like frayed up, it's never going to happen.
Well, that would be cool.
But this will work for those fuel tabs if you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We should do it then, because I've never had much success. This is something that's in the belt that they've never seen because I've barely used it. So that would be fun to go play with.
Yeah.
Just little curls because you're creating surface area.
And then if you get really close, you can see how fine that is.
Yeah.
And that will light on fire easier. So you could make a feather stick is literally what it's called. You're feathering the wood, creating more surface area that's easier to ignite. That's it. And you can do it even with just a tiny little blade. So your little pocket knife,
Yeah.
perfectly adequate. Let's get some shavings off there. So all this stuff right here in pine, when it soaks in, that's actually basically what's called fat wood. And the resin that soaks in there allows it to burn more. So it's kind of like that compressed fuel. Kind of, but just gonna shave some off. And then, in theory, if I get enough, which that should be enough, a big fat rod here, and then hard 90-degree spine.
The knock sharp side. Oh, you moved the rod.
Yeah.
I'm always moving the knife.
But you see how that goes, and then, well, if I move the knife, I might smack it.
Yeah.
So if I do it this way,
That's what I always do. It's bouncing everywhere.
there you go. See, it's starting to catch.
Yeah.
There you go. And there it is.
Hey,
that's fat wood.
We have fire.
Yep.
Brilliant.
But that's it. That's the really, you hold the hard angle here, and then you see how I directed it all. That's a little easier to do. But you see how long that's burning for those tiny little shavings. So that's how you get something small like that into your little bundle, and then you have your kindling that goes on top of that, and then you work your way up to larger and larger and larger, and then eventually a fire that could burn that whole thing.
Yeah.
But any pine trees you see down, if you see this orange stuff like this, and you feel like making a fire that night and you don't want to use your compressed fuel, then you could always just take some shavings off, or just take a chunk of the dark orange, and then you'll get it. But you see it's how black all that
Still
is
going.
and sticky? Because that's all the resin that's in there.
Huh.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And then your compressed fuel tabs.
I'm intrigued to see if that's just a crap one or if I'm just bad at it. Like, see you use that one. Oh no. It's
I just used the big one because I get a lot more strikes, but you can see how it's bowed. That's how much I've used it.
That's cool that you use it. See, this is what I was doing, right? Which side? This side, right?
Yep, the spine of it.
I was going like that.
Yeah, you gotta
And I was hoping that some of my bits would land.
even something like this, which is like a crappy little razor blade, and then my small one, because I made the sheath just for that. Even something like that, you scrape off the black part, get a little cleaned up, and then just like that. But you see how the sparks don't come off as much because this is tiny. So if you have a better, that's all rigid, you have a hard 90-degree angle, you can catch more material. And the idea is between the friction and the amount of material you pull off, that's why it gets better. So this will be small sparks, but if you have a good enough tinder bundle, you could in theory light it as well.
Yeah, I think moving the rod and holding the knife still is a completely different. I've never seen it spark like that because I've always been doing that.
And then even this really cheapo knife like this, I actually leave it in because this has a lock, and I've hit that before. So if you're gonna do something that is foldable, keeping a thumb there, same thing, or
Even with it still closed, yeah.
just like that. But obviously, the bigger the rod, then you get very,
The bigger the rod.
very large amount.
So
I even have a baby one on the end as a toggle.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Don't you have them on your hiking shoes?
I have one on my and my shoelaces too.
So what is that like? Is that a wet fire?
So that's just compressed fuel tabs.
Oh.
So you don't actually have to use the whole thing.
No, I was going to say we don't. We
So
just
what
want to
you
do an
do-
example.
You take,
I think it's in a bag, knowing me.
completely sealed.
Yeah, I've never used it.
All right, well, it's a good test. So I never go out into the wild without testing anything unless I'm taking it out to test it. So let's just get this chunk here.
No, I've just been carrying it thinking, why am I carrying this? Hoping I would use it someday.
And then you shouldn't have to break these up. Oop. You gotta actually hit it first, see how I'm bouncing everywhere?
Yeah.
So you have to direct it a little better.
Obviously, it would be easier to hit if it was a big full block.
Right.
Or even in like a Tinder bundle, it might fall in.
Yeah, yeah.
Start
Oh,
it.
there it goes.
Very little.
Hmm.
Try it that way. See if I can just get a lot on there. But see, even that, if you don't hit it very well,
Yeah.
then let's try breaking it up a little bit. Almost got it.
But you can light just one square and it will boil water, right? One square will burn long enough to boil water.
It should.
Maybe they're just crap.
They might just be crap.
Yeah. I can't remember.
There
where
it
I got
goes.
them.
Okay.
Oh,
So those ones clearly have a higher combustion temperature, but now that's going to burn until it's done burning. So those usually run like 12 minutes, which should be long enough to boil water.
That will run for 12.
Yeah, but instead of a striker, 99-cent Bic lighter is your
Yeah.
best friend. But this is fun because it's just
Yeah.
it's just neat mainly.
No, it's just awesome that I realize when I see you do it what I've been doing wrong. I was moving the knife
Yeah.
and I was never thinking to move the rod. That
Yeah,
was
it's a bit of a combo because you want to direct it as much as you can into your Tinder bundle. Otherwise, you're just...
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was doing exactly that.
Well, that's because you see it on TV, you see this.
Right.
That's what they do, which that also works, but as soon as you go smack, you're going to knock your Tinder bundle.
I did. I'm knocking it all over the place.
Yeah, so a lot of times I'll have, like, say, a bundle. I'll set it here, find my angle, and do a combination
Don't light that whole block on fire.
like that. So I didn't knock it too much. Well, that just, you also have to shave it up. Now, if I lit this with a lighter, it would burn really slow because of the resin density, but as soon as you shave it, you get more surface area, and then you just, and it lights right up.
Brilliant.
That's the sound, too. It's a...
Yeah, sound effect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So what this is a titanium. You could just carry just this. You don't even need the case, really.
Yeah.
But this keeps it contained.
It's so handy.
Titanium little, stove
Oh,
top, and then
nice.
you spin these around accordingly. Whether you've got a big pan or a little pan. And what's so awesome is you feed sticks in.
Nice.
So your stick could be this long, and you just, as it burns slowly, it's feeding it.
It's handy.
Cool.
And yeah, the pan would
It does
sit on
just
top
enough,
like
yeah.
that. And you could burn I've seen people do like a whole massive meal with a frying pan. Like, it's unlimited in terms of how long you could cook for. And
That's awesome.
it just contains everything. Because also if you just put it on the ground, just straight like that, it's dropping hot embers and it starts to get wobbly. And then your vital food or water ends up falling.
Yeah.
So the cases are cool. It's like an extra, you've got to pay extra for the case.
Right. Here's this cool toy. The box is extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like good.
So we'll
That's a
definitely
really cool piece.
we'll definitely
Yeah.
play with the firebox. I think it's somewhere between. You can get a steel one. It's like $50, but I got the titanium one just to save a bit of weight, and it sounds a bit like Terminator. Titanium. A real metal endoskeleton. Oh, this is a funny luxury item. Hey. Completely unnecessary. It's my basketball. Did I tell you I've got a basketball? No. With a pump. So there's a micro pump.
Of all things I've felt.
Right? Completely unnecessary, like I said. But when I see a hoop and I'm like, oh, I wish I had a ball, I'm like, oh, I do have a ball. And I have to kind of debate in my head, like, well, the first thing that comes to my mind is you don't have time to stop and play basketball right now. You're on a running event, you've got to keep running. And I'm like, wait, who's dictating that I don't have time?
Yeah.
So there's been a few times where I've been like, nope. Even just for 10 minutes. I'll just shoot around for 10 minutes and I'll sort of quantify it in my mind, like maybe 5 minutes of pumping for 10 minutes of playing. And, you know, I don't have to rely on hoping someone's there who I have to sort of buddy up with.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. This is the hammock roof, which is some kind of material, I can't think what it's called, but it's not ripstop nylon, it's almost see-through. And it's got some very clever shock cord tie-outs.
Nice.
So when I go off around a tree, I can go like, say from here to your hammock over there, or further. Like, whereas when you've got a solid bit of rope, you're very fixed on how far you can get. I can really stretch it if I need to, and go further and further. And it just crunches down to nothing. I mean, when you consider
It's like a magician.
it's the size of this table, well, probably bigger. And yet it somehow just compresses so small. They make like sails out of it, boat sails. I wish I knew the word. It's some fancy, you know,
Like
woven, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, someone will know.
The new hotness.
The new cool thing. This is something that came from the guys who designed the hammock. And it's just a very clever little attachment that makes it quick to snag. You could say go off round the tree.
Yeah.
And then snag this back on itself. And you don't.
Nice. It's like a little snare lock, but
Yeah.
way fancier.
So you're not messing with any knots. And then I can clip this onto the hammock. Say I set the hammock up first. There's two of these, so it's quick for me to find each end. Yeah, there's one on this end, one on that end. Clip it to the hammock straps, and then my roof's on. And then those two live together because both the basketball and the roof are kind of outside things. They're dirty, they live in the same dirty thing. Like they're not in with my sleeping bag.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that section. This odd shaped one is kitchen and socks. I don't know why they go together, but they do. Fresh socks. The dirty socks go in that orange bag from before. That's how I transfer. So once stuff starts getting dirty, it ends up in the orange laundry bag and slowly shifts until the laundry bag's full and this one's almost empty because there's no more socks left. This is the backup, which I don't have to carry all the time, but when you weigh it, it's like a couple 100 grams. Yeah, 220. And just so useful to screw the little thing on and quickly have something.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's raining too. You don't want to mess with that little stove. This is just
Everything's
fast
wet.
and easy.
Yeah, I've never had any success with starting fires when everything's wet. What do you do with that? I've heard you can shave the wood down.
Yeah, so it's called
Really?
making like a feather stick, but basically you find the stuff that's dry, and then if not, you split wood till you find dry wood, and you shave it, and you rub it in your hands, get it as dry as possible, and then you start very small, get that little stuff going, a little kindling, and then once it finally starts building up temperature, then you can throw on the bigger stuff, and that small fire will dry out the slightly larger ones, and you just build.
Okay.
It just takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if we're out camping on a long trip and we're gonna be in one spot for a few days, we'll try to process wood the day before if it's wet out, and we'll leave it hanging up a little bit, so this way it kind of dries out around the fire, and then this way it's not cold, wet, and damp in the morning, because that's the worst is for us coffee people having no way to start fire, because we usually don't take out one of those, but we have recently started to because it's super handy, because I always like to just kind of.
And you can get some
Find
half
everything.
this size as well.
Yeah.
There's some, this is quite a chunky
They're
thing.
very handy.
And I only just recently bothered to start carrying it because I thought we could have some fun with the winter and have a hot chocolate or warm up the oats.
Mm-hmm.
Not much fun to eat cold oats. So then that's my titanium bot, which is a combination of a pot and a bottle.
Nah.
Right?
Like it?
Because it actually has a top. Most saucepan cooking things, they don't have they might have a lid, but it doesn't screw tight. Like I could carry water in that, or it's a container, and it's almost a litre. And then of course I can store things in there, like the top of the stove That's the little thing that screws on.
Oh.
I guess I'll get it out. You know, that's what screws onto the gas can. Come on, quick! The people are watching. They might.
The little titanium one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little one.
Super tiny.
Yeah,
there you go.
Small.
Yeah. So you put the little things out, and that will stand that one there.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a spoon that's titanium, and we'll go the full length of this. And then there's just supplies in there like hot chocolate and oh, there's some of that mashed potato, like fake smash or whatever you call it. Things that are super light, and also things that could, if necessary, be totally dumped out, and that's now empty. You know, I could just eat that or throw it away, and I've got space to carry water or whatever it is that I want. That's that powdered peanut butter. You know,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
PE2 stuff, like low fat peanut butter alternative. And it is useful, you know. Some old bag of raisins that I must have eaten, which there'll be another bag coming in here. What is it, buddy?
I heard something. But
This is all kind of food and snacks. Cliff Bar, protein bar, 20 grams of something. Raisins, that's my main sugar.
Nice.
Raisins, food, and then we get to socks. And the socks are kept inside other socks, which are waterproof.
Oh, cool.
So these are waterproof socks that are keeping the other socks dry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then this is really what I feel like has helped me to stay blister proof. It's Teflon, like friction powder
Oh,
that decreases friction. For you put like a teaspoon of it in your socks, and it helps your toes and your feet to slide around instead of rub, get hot, make a blister.
Nice.
So it's not talcum powder, it's much more expensive and much more slippery than talcum powder.
that's cool. And you find it's worked well for you? And
Seems to. I haven't had any significantly bad blisters all the way here.
that's
So
good.
that's a what's it called? Friction, you know, like for chafing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If there's anything chafy, it's like Vaseline essentially. That's
Okay.
what it is. But it was in like a long stick, like almost like an underarm stick or under your balls stick or whatever. my thighs would be rubbing together and it would be like, ah. So yeah, you put some of that on and it just sort of lubes everything up a bit. But I'm sure, I don't know, I think Vaseline might be similar, but I just trust in that one. It's designed for
Yeah.
chafing. So that's that. We're almost on the last
We're on
one.
the last one.
This is it. And it's just one big item, really. It's probably the heaviest and most useful for winter. My big jacket.
Nice.
Nice.
So if I'm really cold, this comes out. And I specifically picked it out because it's got 4 pockets. See? Massive pockets here. Got my trousers. The only pair of trousers I own. I'm always in shorts. These are 100-gram waterproof, windproof trousers.
Nice.
So they're in the pocket. There's some gloves in the pocket, which are also waterproof. There's my Be-Free bottle, which was my spare, but now it's my only one. And they're going to send me more. Thank you, Catadine. And I think that's it. What else is in here? Oh, there's if it's really cold, a buff thing as a hat.
Nice.
There you go.
Or a scarf, or a give me all your money. That's it. So that really does complete it. We've gone all the way around, it's all empty, and then, like I said, there's all this stuff.
Yeah, I can't believe how much you have. It's just
I knew that
so-
would be funny to be like, look, how much stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so much.
Who says you can't run around the world and not have your thing?
Yeah.
The end.
All the things, actually. Literally. Everything you need.
Yes.
You got food, water, shelter, hygiene,
Yeah.
all your computer stuff that you need.
Computer,
That's awesome.
basketball.
A blender.
A blender,
A
basketball.
basketball and a blender are the two ridiculous luxury items that I could do without. But if I remove them, all I've actually saved is a couple pounds.
Yeah.
So.
And really, 50% of your meals, like you said, is out of a blender. So
Yeah.
Does
why
it
not?
bring you joy?
Does it bring you joy? Yeah.
Awesome. Well, follow these guys. Where can we find you on Instagram? What's your Instagram?
We're on Instagram, Mindy and Joe. Mindy_and_Joe.
Okay.
That's the band one.
And then we'll put the YouTube link down below because you've just done some tool restoring.
Yeah. I just started my YouTube channel, and then we're working on the videos for the van. It's a lot. We're getting there.
Band
eventually.
videos to come.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for showing us
Yeah,
your
that's fun.
setup and all
Yeah.
your
I
gear.
still can't believe all this fits
I
in
know,
your
I
belt. That's
can't. I'm shocked
fantastic.
right now.
I'm just like, now I've got to pack it all up.
There's just so much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
And we got first look.
Yeah,
Love it.
very cool.
Yeah. And we'll go off and do some more adventures, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, send these guys some love. It's nice when they hear from you, you know. So, say bye. My name's Seb, this is the can. Boom. This is SebCam. This is the Millers.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Looking good.
This was Mindy and Joe's idea. Yeah.
Yeah, a little flat lay.
Yeah, looking good. Oh, yes.
I'm gonna get in the
It's still
sleeping
hard
bag.
to believe all this stuff fits in that. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Right,
Yeah,
I'll get in the
that's it.
sleeping bag.
Yep.
Behind the scenes making of the thumbnail. Look at all this. That's the longest time it's ever taken me to make one photo. Amazing. Couldn't have done it without these guys because I couldn't have taken the photo. Yeah, you can't see you unless you come and lay down. And the sun came out.
I'm not good at sun gazing.
Yeah.
My eyes watered instantly.
And now I gotta pack it up.
Yeah.
Up. Woo!
Have you time lapsed? You're packing everything up before?
No. Maybe now's the time.
To live and to live in a mystery and find a purpose and to live in the night. Magic. What is that? Now, this I remember this. This is an adventure. This is a memory living now. Moment. Don't get old, don't judge people. Because you can't be free if you judge people. Love now, create and inspire. By doing what you love, this is the moment. Love now, it repeats. Doing what you love, this is the moment. Love now, it repeats.
18 minutes.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, if I was packing to go to the airport, I would have given myself like probably an hour, but maybe half an hour. I would have known I could probably get it done.
And time.
And we're off. Oh, now we can weigh it.
Oh, we
Can
can.
we weigh it?
Yeah.
So in here, I have scales. It's one thing I forgot to take out earlier. It crossed my mind.
Yeah, here, Spider.
So we'll go for pounds to be American, and then we can switch kilos. Up. 33 and a half. See what it is in kilos for those people who... Oh, it's a low battery. No, that's... Oh. Kilos. Whoop. Yeah, 15. That's what I normally say.
Yeah.
15.
It's almost like you've been running with it for months and you know how much it weighs.
And I really can't notice the difference when I make it, you know, a little bit lighter. I can't say the running's any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well have that luxury item or that thing that you like. So this is how I normally put it on. I kind of step into that gap so that I can then go up, and then I can like be hands-free like that while I clip it in. Up.
Ready to run.